Hello everyone. Welcome to another experiment on my side. Similarly to the previous loyalty test, just now with forgetting stuff because that's fun. As always, special thanks to my lovely patrons and all of you who still watch my videos. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with the uploads and check out the members only posts. I smell a challenge. Great, at least I can leave before anyone gets any stupid ideas. You leave, I'll just add you back in. You can't escape. Great, that's exactly what I wanted to hear on early morning. Especially when it's Oikawa or Atsumu coming up with stuff. Okay, rude much. Yeah, so far we only strengthened your relationships. Are you forgetting that time we almost broke up because of your advice? Not my fault your pup is emotionally constipated. Right, just keep your hands clean, huh? Why are we here? Just to have some fun. I have a great idea. It's to ask your partner, did you forget, after acting like you are waiting for some surprise. Anniversary works best in my opinion. Ooh, nice idea. Yeah, let's just stress them out needlessly, right? Why not? Our actual anniversary is coming up. If this messes things up because he won't believe me when it's actually the day, why wouldn't he? Hey, if your lovelies are at least decent partners, they wouldn't forget the date, no? That's not a measurement. Forgetting one date isn't a proof they're bad boyfriends. Debatable. It's one date. Well, you'll see based on their reaction. If they panic at least a little, it's still fine. Chop chop, go on. Don't waste precious time. He didn't like the challenge, or prank, or whatever Oikawa wanted to call it, at all. Sure, one could argue it was just an innocent fun, but Kentaro had always been bad with remembering dates, and Shigeru was worried. He felt bad already whenever he saw his husband sticking notes for himself around his things when their anniversary was approaching, just so he didn't forget. He tried to convince Kentaro that there was no need to put so much weight on one day, that he didn't need it and that Valentine's Day was enough. But Kentaro wouldn't hear it. It's just going to stress him out. He was jolted from his thoughts when hands fell on his shoulders, his heart speeding up before he caught up on the fact it was Kentaro behind him. Don't do this to me. I'm sorry. Leaning down, he kissed Shigeru's cheek, humming another quiet apology into his neck before kissing his skin as well. I just wanted to say bye, but you are spaced out. Bye? You are leaving? Yeah? The coach is organizing a team get-together, remember? I told you yesterday. Disappointed by the reminder, Shigeru let his shoulders drop. Oh, right. Have a good evening then, okay? Don't drink too much. He forced a smile, realizing a bit too late he accidentally went along with the first part of the challenge regardless of his doubts. Although the fact was, Kentaro did forget something. Not something like anniversary, but he did regardless. Kentaro also paused mid-step, tilting his head in apparent confusion, the crease between his brows telling Shigeru he was thinking hard. Everything alright? You know I'd love to take you along, but there's going to be lots of people again. The last time didn't go that well, so I didn't want to force you. But you can come along if you feel like it. No, it's fine. It's not about that. It's fine, just tell the others I say hello, okay? Kentaro didn't look convinced, but it didn't seem like he figured it out. It's fine. It was stupid anyway. Okay, I will. I'll try to come back at some normal hour. Call me if anything happens, alright? Of course. He waved lightly until Kentaro disappeared behind the corner, the remnants of his smile falling the moment he heard the door close. A heavy sigh escaped his mouth, deflating his shoulders even further. Why though? It really wasn't important, so why did his heart now ache so much? Get a grip, damn it. You can have that dinner any other day. Doesn't have to be tonight specifically. He pushed the notebook with recipes back into the drawer and turned the TV on instead to have at least something to do. Right, he could do anything he wanted now that he was alone. He could catch up on the series he was watching, or look up more meals they could make together sometime later, or make something sweet. The options were limitless. Except it felt more lonely than freeing. Maybe it was just because they've planned the night almost a week ago already. Great, so now you'll be jealous of his team? What a supportive husband you are. He startled when the door suddenly flung open again, followed by heavy footsteps and a warm weight draping around him when Kentaro hugged him. Stammering, he instinctively hugged back, confused by the strangely heavy breathing by his ear and the fact that Kentaro's heart was racing. I thought you were on the way already. Was at the pub already. Took me the whole way to remember. Huh? I'm sorry. He pulled away a little, remorse clear on his face. I forgot about the dinner, didn't I? That's why you were so sad. Yeah, but it's fine. We can do that tomorrow, or any day, really. Wait, did you run all the way back? Kentaro chuckled sheepishly, and suddenly his rapid heartbeat and heavy breathing made much more sense. Felt a bit too little to just go. I'm sorry, really. Give me a minute to change and we can start. He paused. I mean, if you still want to. I do, but are you sure it's okay? The meeting... It's just drinks in a pub. Not as important as being with you. The gentlest of kisses landed on Shigeru's lips. And I need to make it up to you. Shigeru just melted back into Kentaro's arms, feeling a little bad for ruining his husband's surely entertaining night. But at the same time, his heart fluttered that, even with the little delay, Kentaro remembered in the end, and wanted to spend time with him. You don't. Love you. I love you too. Anniversaries were never something Shirabu would obsess about, ever. Even after they started dating, he just didn't see the point. As long as they loved each other, they didn't need a reminder of the day they got together, right? Well, Semi didn't think so, always making sure he prepared some surprise for him on the day, took him out for a date, or at least serenade him if the weather or schedule was really bad. And despite being caught dead before he would admit it out loud, Shirabu found it more than endearing and tried to match the effort, even though it didn't always work out the way he wanted. And now he was supposed to play with Semi's memory when he was still vulnerable and taking care of their child. Kinda messed up the more I think about it. Though maybe he will know I'm just pretending, he never forgets. Unless, of course, he was focused on the more important things going on in their lives enough to not question him. We will see, I guess. He glanced up when a piece of paper sliding in front of him snapped him out of his thoughts. Semi tilted his head and pushed the paper in front of him again, his face curious, bordering on concerned. You look deep in thought. Is everything alright? Oh, yeah, everything is fine. Just thinking about some stuff here, planning some stuff there. You still have a free evening today, right? As expected, Semi furrowed his brow before he took the paper back and scribbled something on it. Now definitely confused. You're planning something? Well, yeah. You aren't? Shaking his head, Semi didn't even bother with the paper anymore, signing Y and something happening. You forgot? To the stretching silence and Semi's growing confusion, Shirabu put on his best set face he could muster at the moment and looked away, playing with his hands. I see. It's fine. We have more important stuff to worry about. He didn't get further before Semi was gripping his shoulders, knelt down in front of him and looking rather panicked, as if silently asking for a hint and forgiveness at the same time. It hurt, more than Shirabu expected. His boyfriend had always been confidence incarnate on the outside, but the moments when he showed vulnerability and his insecure soul always broke Shirabu's heart. Before he could open his mouth to explain and apologize, Semi snatched the paper from the table again and quickly scribbled a few lines on it, handing it to him with widened eyes. Did I forget something important? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. I swear I wrote everything important down, but maybe I missed this one. I'm sorry, I'll make it up to you, I swear. Just tell me what I forgot. Too guilty to continue on, Shirabu took the paper from him and hugged him instead. You didn't forget anything. I'm sorry, it was just a stupid prank from Oikawa. Nothing is happening today. He felt Semi go still in his arms, but just as he was about to start worrying about messing up too much, the strong arms he was very familiar with hugged him back, gently caressing his sides. Only then Shirabu relaxed, relieved he didn't go too far beyond saving point. The soft hum Semi let out, telling him he just needed to think of something nice for the three of them to be forgiven. It was either the worst or the best timing this challenge had for them. Truth to be told, Ennoshita had no idea how much Tanaka would bother with anniversaries beside their first one last year, as he couldn't recall Tanaka ever putting much weight into recollection of past times. However, he was sappy enough to prepare a blown-out celebration of their second year together, and Ennoshita wasn't sure if he looked forward to it or dreaded it. Maybe when this whole damn thing is over, I could try tell him I don't want a big celebration. If he's even planning something in the first place. He paused, a realization that he would be a bit disappointed if his boyfriend wasn't planning anything dawning on him. After all, this was Tanaka, a man who never missed an opportunity to show his love to his partner, be it Shimizu, him, or any of the women he dated before. Cheeky, cheeky, wakey, wakey. Half disgusted, half trying to hold in laughter, Ennoshita turned after her voice, raising his eyebrow at his grinning boyfriend. What did you just call me? I knew it would get your attention. He crossed the distance between them and gently flicked Ennoshita's forehead. I'm going to be using that whenever I need to snap you out of your head. Please don't, it's awful. Even worse than when you called me baby that one time. What's wrong with that? Everybody uses it. It's making me physically cringe. He shuddered with the memory before biting on his lip, trying to look expectant. So, did you leave yourself free time tonight? Tanaka's brow furrowed briefly, the tilt of his head telling enough of his confusion for a quick second before his face brightened. He bent down on Ennoshita's eye level, leaning on his thighs for support. Are you planning something for tonight? Something nice? Well, Yeah, I thought you are too. The confusion returned even stronger, making Tanaka's face look rather comical in the low light. Ennoshita swallowed the chuckle, already wanting to escape his mouth, a little guilty about apparently throwing his beloved into a blender of clearly panicked thoughts. Is today special in some way? I would say yes. He let his face fall. You forgot? No, of course I didn't. I thought we were talking about something else. Give me a moment, okay? He rushed out of the living room as fast as his still not fully steady legs allowed him. Ennoshita followed him with his gaze before Tanaka disappeared in the hallway, and soon he heard the sound of a drawer being open. He had mixed feelings about the situation, torn between amusement and guilt for chasing Tanaka around for nothing and risking him getting cramps into his legs again. I'll stop him if he tries to run out or something. However, Tanaka soon appeared back in the living room, surprisingly looking much less panicked than Ennoshita would expect. You little sneaky snake. Huh? You're playing with me, aren't you? He returned into his previous position, leaning on Ennoshita's thighs and deep into his personal space. So close, Ennoshita could almost feel the words on his lips. You are a little liar. Ennoshita's heart skipped a beat before he realized Tanaka wasn't upset, but rather that there was a badly hidden smile tugging in the corner of his mouth. And so he decided to play along, putting on his best innocent face. How can you call me that? I'm the most honest person you know. Sure. Then it had to be someone else who was trying to convince me our anniversary is a week earlier, right? Unable to hold up the pretend game anymore, Ennoshita found himself smiling, warmth spreading through his chest with every beat of his heart. You remember that? Obviously, as if I could forget the date when my dream came true. He finally closed the remaining distance, leaving the gentlest kiss on Ennoshita's lips. But you did scare me a little. For a moment I thought I blanked out on today's date. I'm sorry, it was a challenge. So, you are planning something? Of course. I have a whole day planned out. But that's all you can know right now. The rest is a surprise. Ennoshita smiled wider, leaning for a kiss himself. Maybe the challenge wasn't that bad in the end. Unlike the others, apparently, Atsumu was more curious than worried. Since Sakusa wasn't bad at remembering dates, he might get a rather flat reaction, but even that was an interesting result. And if not, well, then he could have a moment of fun on his boyfriend's behalf. That never hurt anyone. He started with the expectant looks in Sakusa's direction before the practice already, hoping to lay a good ground to his question later. And it seemed to be working if he could judge by the slowly growing creases around Sakusa's eyes. It was rather comical, but so far Sakusa hadn't said a word, hence why Atsumu didn't see a single reason to not continue. The longer he wonders, the better. Would be a shame if it ended early. He's probably not going to ask in front of the others anyway. What's with those looks today? Oh, never mind then. He looked up, finding Sakusa standing in front of him with his arms crossed over his chest, his face suggesting a starting annoyance. Ah, that's why he asked. Good looks. You've been looking at me weirdly the whole morning. What is it? Can't I look at my boyfriend? He suppressed a grin when Sakusa's cheeks colored light pink with the word boyfriend. Despite dating for years already, Sakusa still got so flustered whenever someone mentioned their relationship. It was cute, and to his credit, he never disputed it, even in front of complete strangers, always making Atsumu feel all warm inside. It would be rather sad if his boyfriend was ashamed of him, which maybe he was a little sometimes, but Atsumu could understand that. You know what I mean. No? Atsumu, don't piss me off. If you want something from me, say it. I'm just wondering if you are planning something for today. For what? Atsumu let his face fall a little, putting on his best disappointed eyes. Wait, does that mean you forgot what today is? Confusion flashed across Sakusa's face before he narrowed his eyes. It's Friday. Nothing is happening today. But our anniversary... It's in winter. Don't make a fool of me. He clicked his tongue and handed Atsumu his water bottle, giving him a significant look over his shoulder. Stop with games and come on. Coach is calling us. Slightly disappointed, but still rather amused, Atsumu took a few sips before he too sprang up and rushed back on the court. A warm feeling of knowing his boyfriend remembered spreading through his chest. Much to Oikawa's disappointment, Iwaizumi didn't seem very concerned about his subtle clues he had been laying out since morning. If it was because he was fully indulged in drafting new exercise plans for the upcoming school year, or because he didn't recognize them, Oikawa wasn't sure, but it started to drive him crazy. He couldn't really go ahead with the challenge unless he laid some groundwork, and failing his own challenge would be so damn embarrassing he wouldn't recover. Technically, it would be Hajime's fault, but doesn't matter. It would stain my reputation too. Perhaps he was being a bit too dramatic about it, but in the end, he really wanted to try convincing his fiancée that he forgot about something as important as anniversary. Or anything, really. If you have time to loiter, you can come help me with this. I'm not loitering. I have my own work. Yeah? And what would that be? He still hadn't lifted his head from the spreadsheets and timetables, but the clearly amused tone of his voice was not lost on Oikawa. Grumbling under his breath, he crossed his arms over his chest, decided to go for a frontline attack now. I'll let you know that I'm planning things for us, but you wouldn't care about that because you obviously forgot. Only now did Iwaizumi lift his head, raising his eyebrow in Oikawa's direction. He didn't look surprised or confused, just a little curious maybe. It all drove Oikawa nuts. Why wasn't he panicking at least a little bit? I thought you said you're usually tired for dates over the week. Well, yeah, but anniversary is a big thing, you know? You're planning a bit too early for our anniversary, don't you think? Both of them, actually. He checked his watches, although Oikawa realized it was more just a gesture than to actually check the date. As far as I know, there's 148 days till our started to date anniversary and 86 days before our engagement one, so you can easily leave the planning for later and help me out. Speechless, Oikawa managed just a quiet hum before he joined Iwaizumi by the table, only snapped out of the stupor when Iwaizumi pushed one of the spreadsheets in front of him. You remember both? Warm, calloused hand covered his, sending tingles through his skin. Of course I do. And I have them written down in case I did forget. So no need to play games with me, You knew it was a challenge? Challenge? No. He shrugged. I just figured you were playing some kind of making sure game again once you mentioned anniversary. So I decided to ruin your fun a bit early. Oikawa sighed, but in the end he didn't fail the challenge. True, Iwaizumi was now going to be all smug about it for a while. But the fact was, he still remembered the dates despite always saying celebrations of anniversaries were unnecessary. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. So yeah, don't concern yourself with the timeline. I myself don't know where I would put this, or like at what point this would be happening. It's just an experiment on my side again. And I'm actually really enjoying these, so more experiments to come. I've actually been working on one for quite some time, so... If you have any requests or ideas, the request form is linked in the video description. See you next time.